What's up YouTube? Silas Gaming here. Just playing a bit of Shadow Mordor. Got some gameplay in the background for you. Shot that fool straight in the face. Now we're going to stab this guy up. And let me tell you, there is plenty of that in this game. You will be stabbing mofos left, right and centre. Now all I've seen for this game is 9.5s out of 10, 3,
no this stuff burns.
No threes. It's probably what it should be, out of 5. 4 out of 5s, 4.5s out of 5. And I tell you, this game is good, but it is nowhere near a 9. And I'm about to go through the points of why it's not. Right, so first of all, when we're getting some gameplay in the background here, these are just generic missions that I thought I'd talk through. We're going to go through some specific points about why this game is bad, and then we'll move on to the good points. In this day and age, I find it unacceptable for a game not to be able to adjust your difficulty. I mean, for me personally, I feel like games are always too easy, and I always want to step it up a level. And then there's the opposite of people that don't play the games a lot. You know, they find them too hard and they want to step it down. There is no adjustable damage in this game. There's no adjustable anything. You just have to play it as they intended. It's a simulationist game, and that's all I can say straight off the bat. Now, as we carry on here, you're going to see there's collectibles in the game right there, so that's a good point, but that's for later on. Next up is the bad things about the systems in this game. Gameplay is good, but it is 2/3 borrowed from other games, and those games are Assassin's Creed and the Arkham games. Now when we move into it here, you're gonna see the takedown, nice little takedown there, and that's there's some good animations, but they feel borrowed. Like I said, it feels, whenever you're running around, you feel like you're playing Assassin's Creed. The next thing we've got is, it's essentially 2-button combat, and that's pushing it, as you can get away using 1 button. Left click to attack, right click to block, or parry, however you want to put it. And then after a certain amount of combos, 8, you get to do a takedown. And that's pretty much it. Later on in the game, they do add some extras in, like the stun, the Batman cape stun, the Wraith flash. It's just borrowed. It just all feels way too familiar. And adding on to that point, not only is it familiar, but without the gadgets that Arkham Asylum and Arkham City and so on give to you, it just doesn't feel as good. It just feels half-assed. No fuck you. And on to some more gameplay. Same thing again. Orcs, and that's all you get. There are some things called Caragors, which we'll move on to in a second. We've got some actual footage of them, but essentially there's just one enemy, and it's these orcs, and that's all you get. Now, good thing to mention is the new system, the Nemesis system, which we will move on to in a minute. But essentially, because any enemy can become a captain or a war chief, it doesn't feel like enemies are personal. They all have the same skin faces. They're all stock faces. So even one of the best characters in the game, Ratbag, which we'll move on to later as well, I feel like I'm fighting him all the time. I can see 3 of them on the screen right now. Ooh, get some. As you can see in the background, there is a one of the forms of Caragors called a Graug, and there's 3 of them, but once again we'll move on to that. So as you can see, not a brilliant start to the game, or at least to this review, but we'll move on to some more specific bad points about the game. As you can see, you also have a bow and boring main character.
Do you really think you have a chance against me?
Now we'll move on to a bit more gameplay. The world feels alive, which is a good thing. We'll once again come to in a minute. But as you can see here, we've got 2 guys dueling. Now this just is randomly generated. But it's better than any of the other boss fights in the game. The specific ones, which we'll get to in a minute. We'll watch this assassination though. Bitch, didn't even see it coming. That rune right there will be the end of me.
Everyone giving me a bother today. Oh, he's gonna get you all just to shut you up, eh?
Now we'll move on to difficulty spikes, which this game has a metric shit ton of. This bridge, I've just assassinated one of the guys, and now I'm getting absolutely fucked up. And it's because out of nowhere captains will come, which create really good fights. But it goes from easy to batshit insane crazy, as you're about to see here. A quick note on a good thing, there's multiple types of enemies, as you'd expect in a game such as this.
Leader! I'll make you whimper like a child, begging for mercy.
Shit is getting real.
Get to the feet!
Look at this guy, thinks he's in the Legion.
I found you! Now's my chance to finish you
My
off.
name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, commander of the armies of the North, generals of the Felix Legions, and loyal surgeon to the true Emperor, Marcus Aurelius.
Never seen anyone move like that. Gather me this barrel.
Shadows and dust. Just an FYI, don't stop in the middle of a chase to pick up some runes. You are gonna die. This guy fucked me up so many
How
times.
do you walk still? Is your flesh so rancid that even the maggots won't eat you? And twice!
So, killing you once wasn't enough to keep you in the ground, huh? Then let's see if twice will do the trick.
Now we'll move on to the next thing. The AI was a little bit stupid. Only in certain places though. I mean, I'm invincible on ledges. What good does that do? That wouldn't happen in Assassin's Creed. Nice kill. And now we'll move on to some Caragors. As you can see, nice little wolfies, dogs, whatever you want to call them. Look like something out of Alien. But yeah, they just turn up and ruin everyone's fun. And they will hunt you till the end of the earth. Middle Earth. You get what I'm saying. Now it does bring in a cool little animation when you dodge them. But it's basically just quick time events, which this game has way too much of. And later on you will get the ability to parry them with the, of course, the right click of the button and ride them, which is cool, but it's just not good enough, really. At this stage, I just got to the point where I'm like, let's get the fuck out of here. Fuck this mess. Oh, parkour! Now this might have been my biggest disappointment. These are another type of Caragor. They're just small, they're called ghouls. Girls? Not girls, look at them. Ghouls, they're tiny little creatures, and they just swarm you. Like they're Zerglings. I mean, who wants this? This doesn't feel like Lord of the Rings. And there's way too much of that in this game. There's just a feeling that it's not Lord of the Rings. Apart from at certain points, which we'll get to in it. And I think that was the biggest pull for me for this game. I wanted it to feel like Lord of the Rings. Because I fucking love it. Next, we will be moving on to stealth. Look at this guy. How am I stealth? I'm stood directly next to him, and he just even dropped his weapon and fucked off. This guy finally sees me in front of him, but it's just, oh god. And here we've got the Congo line. This guy's directly to my right. They're about 5 meters away. They can't see me. I'm just Congo lining. There's one in the back for you. One in the front for you. Onto you. This game, the challenge, man, the challenge. It's all about the difficulty. And I am feeling the difficulty here. I just got bored and decided to make them see me.
Is this your best?
Right, so that's what we've seen so far. Let's move on to the repetitiveness of combat, shall we? As you can see, this guy here is a proper boss. He's got Sauron's mace, he's got the armor, he's got it all going on. So how should we defeat him? I know. Let's do the same 2 takedowns. Time after time after time. Maybe 10 times. We'll just keep going. He'll swing back at us, but he'll be fine. Because we'll just jump out of the way. We'll stab him in the left shoulder. And then in the back. And then in the left shoulder. And then maybe in the left shoulder again. That is just fucking great. And as I showed you on the bridge earlier, boss fights can be brilliant. But only when the game randomly generates them. This is a scripted boss battle. And it's so repetitive. And it's quite honest. It's boring.
Vengeance taste, Talion. Is not the darkness sweet?
Finish him! Fatality! Right, now lads, we will move on to some good points about the game. And what do we have here? We have another fight. We're killing some more orcs, because that's just about all you do in the game. But we're on to the good points. So, what do we have here? Campfire of orcs, they're just having dinner. But who have we got here? Oh, crack on the brain damage is back. Oh, you should hear the sound effects, they're so good. Did you say? Right lads, so now that crack on the brain damage is here, we can have a bit of fun. So you know, we're just doing takedowns, we're doing combos, Arkham City style. I mean Shadow of Mordor combat style. Taste the flames. For instance, that's what it's straight. It looks like meat's back on the menu, boys. So this guy has managed to kill me. So what happens now? Well, Dush Rat is going to get promoted. And here we have the gleaming light about this game. The Nemesis system. It is beautiful. So the game has decided that Dush Rat will duel that guy, and they've rolled with their powers, and he's beaten him and he's taken his captaincy because he killed me in battle. And now it will go through, basically it passes time, like if you slept in GTA for instance, and it will resolve all of the little missions on the map, so like the side missions essentially. And also it will promote people into the back ranks and then fill up the front ranks with new orcs that you need to identify. And essentially this is the best thing about this game, and it's truly good. It's just a shame that they've wasted their time and effort on just stealing someone else's content for the other systems. Straight to rank 2. Motherfucker. Stealing's probably a strong word, but I feel strongly about this game. And now we will move on to what is called branding enemies, which is essentially dominating their mind and controlling them within the Nemesis system. So this guy, we are going to get down to green health, and then we're going to grab him and dominate his mind. He is then going to be a friendly NPC for us, sort of like a mind jack. And now we'll move on to the next guy. Both these guys are bodyguards of the current war chief, or one of the current war chiefs, and we've dominated both their minds. You can see Calambrad there. So now we will tell him to go and attack the war chief, which essentially sets up a new random mission that we can go and then acquire, like we are here. So it will set up something on the map in a random place called a power struggle, and he has basically lured out the war chief, and my two friendly bodyguards are going to attack him, and I'm obviously going to lend a hand, and we're going to get this Pug-Rish Taskmaster to be a war chief, and obviously directly under our control. So we're obviously going to get into a direct assassination mode and fuck it up completely. And then we're just gonna spam the shit out of the left click.
This day keeps getting worse. Perhaps I'll feel better when you're dead.
So yeah, now we fight him, and that's it basically. Until he goes down. Now war chiefs you can't dominate in the same way. But here we are, he's dead. He'll give a little speech.
Join the host of Mordor, they said. It's an Uruk's life, they said.
A quick time event, because why not? Bad textures. And now it will take us to the Nemesis system and show Pug-Rish, the Taskmaster, taking his rightful place under our control as a war chief. Go on, son, you're a strong, independent orc who don't need no man. Now we're gonna work all cool up to him, you know, start a fight, punch him, kick him into the fire. So here was one of the most fun missions I had on the game. And it was essentially a war chief with his bodyguards, and it took me maybe 20 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, and I've edited it just to the highlights. So we're going to watch that now. So it's him and his two bodyguards and a fort full of orcs, and it was not easy, but we're going to see some of the mechanics that go into the boss fights here, like strengths and weaknesses. So essentially, two of them have strength where I can't jump over their backs, and also you can't stun them and you can't do normal attacks to them. And there's also weaknesses which make them run away or get feared, or either have hatred which make them better. And it's quite an in-depth system, and it works really well. That is no mindless rabble of Uruk. These are fighting Urukai. As you can hear in the background there's someone blowing a horn, which will call more orcs to the battle. And you always need more orcs. I think I've probably slain at least half of Saruman's army here, if they were those kind of Urukai.
You failed!
As you can see, they're getting a bit swarmy, and it's going to be time to duck out right now.
Stop moving!
as you can see there, that is the Wraith Stun, which essentially puts you into some sort of flurry mode, which can get your combo up really quickly, and it works well. Here we're going to unleash a Caragor and attempt him to fight the battle for us. And one of the War Chief's hatreds and his strength is going to be hate for Caragors. So now he's just beefed up his power level because we've let the Caragors out. And his bodyguard there has a fear of Caragors, so is now running the fuck away. We're going to chase him since he's basically secluded himself. And it's time for some assassination. Bring us to the Nemesis system and allowing us to gain some intel on the other bodyguard to find out his strengths and his weaknesses. So you could see they're still searching for us, but since we've been away from the battle for a minute, most of the standard orcs have left. And it's just the War Chief and his bodyguard outside the fort, and it's time for some stunning, because that's the only thing that works on these big motherfuckers with the shields. And it's quite repetitive and it's quite annoying, but we've already covered that. So while we've got a second here, we'll talk about some of the good points that I haven't got clips for, which cover quite a few things. The soundtrack is good, and it feels like Lord of the Rings. The writing is good. Even though there's not specific characters, apart from the ones that show you in the tutorial, they all feel well written. And they all have individual lines, and there's some sort of random Rolodex type programming that picks their names from a list of first names and a list of titles which acts as their last name. As you can see, this guy is retreating, but I wanted to kill him first because when you kill people on a higher level than the orcs, they basically retreat. And obviously my aim is to rid every spot on the Nemesis system of orcs. It's not the actual game's aim, but it's my personal aim because fuck these orcs. When it came down to one-on-one, this War Chief was actually quite easy. Just rinse and repeat. Jump over his back, hit him 7 times, then go for a take.
I underestimated this time. Out of the shadows.
Chasing him through the camp here, you can see the everyday lives of the orcs going on. When they see us, they chase. Getting a bit of an Assassin's Creed, Lord of the Rings ledge kill. Doesn't quite work, he knocks us off. Once again, very well animated. But we're still in the chase. This guy is going down.
I'll find something else to kill.
And it's time for you to die, Mr. War Chief. That's right, we have a fully voiced Gollum, along with his singing, who plays alongside a ranger, and that's another good thing we've got here. We've got properly voiced canon characters, including Sauron. If you wanna go there, he's here. He shows up. He's got a mace.
Show us, and we'll take it. He'll show us, then he steals it. No, no. We'll take it from him. We'll take it from the sharpest of sharpsies.
So once again, in and out of feeling like Lord of the Rings. Right now, it feels like Lord of the Rings. But in a second, all those ghouls are going to show up, and it's going to feel like I'm playing StarCraft.
Here goes. We wait here for you.
Next on our list of good things is a persistent living world that feels like it goes on around you. Watch Dogs did this earlier in the year and did it well, but now Lord of the Rings is doing it as well. Shall we join the fun?
Want the backhand? Those slaves scum.
Here we have
Poison in your ear.
Ratbag. Another very good thing about this game. Well written side characters. They feel genuine, they feel like they belong in the place and also with the lore of Lord of the Rings. And this particular orc is going to give us a tutorial of the Nemesis system by helping him rank up throughout it, to then meet an unfortunate end.
In your miserable.
No. I was just look. Those slaves are no match for the orc army. Their schemes as rotten as barrel fish. But Ratbag can teach you the ways of the orc. Ratbag can make your plan work.
We're going to find out what you know.
Those slaves will stab you in the back. At least an Uruk will stab you in the front. Most likely the throat. We have similar goals, Ranger. See, you want to kill the captain, and somebody's got to take his place. Somebody like Ratbag.
What an absolute beauty is going on here. Look at that landscape. As I just said in the final section of this gameplay here, the game does look nice, and that's its final good thing. So this brings us to our final verdict. And what do we think we're going to give? Summing it up, come on beasties, I will give it a final verdict of 6 out of 10. And this is taking in obviously the good and the bad. Mainly the bad. It's mostly bad. The game itself is good, but it's borrowed. The only bit that is not borrowed is the Nemesis system, which works really well. However, the rest of the game, we've got exploration from Assassin's Creed, and it's not even as good because half the fucking map you can't climb up. Unlike Assassin's Creed, when you can get up everywhere, wherever you want, all the time. The combat is from the Arkham games, which isn't as good because there's no gadgets. You can't have combat like that without gadgets. You want to be throwing batarangs at people and using the line launcher and all the other ones I can't remember at this very second. Stop being idiots. So final verdict, 6 out of 10. Maybe pushed up to a 7 if you like hack and slash games and you want the Lord of the Rings universe and something new to play. Bringing in the price of £30 on the PC as well. It's not a bad price, but if you don't want to be paying £50 for this game, on console, or even £40 if it's on, you know, 360 and PS3. So that's it, lads. That's all the gameplay I've got for you. That's my thoughts. Obviously, make the decision for yourself. I've given you what I can. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at SylusgamingSAG. Like my page, subscribe, do all that bullshit, and peace out.